Okay, let's see. How does that sound? I should be back. Should be back. Should be back on. Yeah. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me out there in YouTube land. Yep, looks like there. And I can hear myself. Okay. Hopefully that mic is good too. Just double checking that. And looks like we're okay. So let me welcome my panel of co-hosts here for the moment. Those who are with us. First up, we have my trusty TA, Big Al, or Mr. Freeze. Say hi, Freeze.
Hello, Freeze.
And for those who don't know, that is Otto Preminger right there, one of the actors who played Freeze in the Batman.
Somebody muted himself.
How about that? Am I back on the right?
Are you back now? I think you muted yourself. Something happened. You even cut out for a while.
Kicked a cord like an idiot. Okay.
Jeez.
Poor Troy is waiting to be introduced as well. But yes, as I said, that is Otto Preminger, the director of tonight's film, Laura, who played Freeze. Probably my favorite Freeze on Batman 66 as well. Is it yours too, Al?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think the other one's what, Eli Wallach, I want to say.
Don't remember right now. I'd have to look it up.
I forget. But Freeze should be bald. I'm sorry.
That's right. Amen. And of course, with us as well is the Klingon cleric himself, Mr. Troy Pacelli. Welcome, Troy.
Speaking of
misty light. How's it going? I figured I'd get to the song before Al did.
There you go.
What song?
I guess I didn't have anything to worry about, did I?
He didn't even know.
I actually didn't even catch what song he was singing. I wasn't really paying attention.
You were too busy speaking over it.
Yep.
I know.
Give him a ball joke.
Exactly, which is what I'm supposed to do.
And it looks like we have the talented and charming Sound Engraver here with us as well. I didn't know if she would make it on time. Welcome, Sound Engraver.
Hello, I just got in. No, I'm good. I'm good.
She was expecting Al to talk over her introduction. That's why she wasn't quite ready.
I wasn't expecting to actually come this early.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're welcome to take any time you need. We're just going to introduce and vamp. Is Netter going to join us tonight, Troy?
Yeah, she is, but she had Al-esque problems, so she had to restart her system. Keep an eye out for her in the green room.
Okay, I like that. Al-esque problems.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Well, looks like the chat hung around, just about all of them. Thanks for hanging out and enjoying the writing lesson we did, guys. It was good to have you there for that. I will cut that off and repost that. But yeah, so we'll give Netter some time here. But this movie is it's really great. It's a wonderful. It's one of my favorite film noirs. If you're part of our Facebook group, I think the link is in the description below. I listed some of the top ones, and this one I didn't list that top 10 in any kind of specific order, but this one easily ranks in the top 3. Absolutely. I don't. It might, maybe even yeah. I don't know, but it's I love it for a number of reasons. It kind of taps into Vertigo a little bit, that sort of Jungian idea. I think it's haunting, but it's not filled with despair either. It's noir. I caught Sound Engraver the other night on her stream saying, I was told this had a happy ending, but I don't know about that ending.
So, it depends on your defension, I guess.
Yeah, well, not the ending that some other film noirs might have.
Sort of. It's kind of a. Well, it depends on your point of view.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's actually now the more I thought of it, I'm like, well, that is happy for a noir.
Yeah. I remember you said that. Yeah. Are you away from your mic? I just want to make sure your mic's working properly. If you're still doing some stuff, that's totally fine. But
no, I am here.
Sound a little distant for some reason.
Let's see. Or
maybe it's coming through a different mic.
Oh, I'll check the specs. Thank you.
Not a problem. We're waiting on Netter anyway. And if I guess anybody should be graceful with mic problems, it's probably Al. So. Yeah, no. I hope I don't kick this cord anymore and if I suddenly go mute. This time, folks, if the Prof is silent for like 5 minutes, don't just sit back and enjoy it. Tell me, because I'm talking and I just went mute for some reason. So
do I sound a little better now?
Still kind of distant and
Okay.
Not sure what it is.
I'll keep checking.
It's like you're across the room.
Really? Hello?
I mean, we can hear you. So if that's just what it needs to be tonight, that's fine. I just thought, you'd like to know because I know you.
No, for sure. That kind of thing would drive me crazy. 1 second. I don't want to talk because it's going to continue driving me crazy.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Al, mom update?
Talked to her today. Actually had a team meeting teleconferencey thing. Looking possibly for release maybe next week, depending. Unless it's still very fluid, but a lot of pain in her shoulder locks up on her, and when you're dependent on a walker, I don't know if anybody's ever been needed that. That's kind of a big
pressure
thing.
on,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she even didn't even want to walk today because her shoulder is just on fire tonight. They're working on it. She was trying to get up one of those patches, a little pain patch kind of thing for it.
Yeah.
But she sounds good. She's she's getting there. It's just a matter of where everyone's going to end up, and that includes me. So things have got to change. I mean, we're just not sure exactly how.
Sure.
What that change will be.
Understandable. We will keep praying for that and checking in with you, making sure everything works okay.
Thank you.
Looks like Sound Grader might have checked out there to fix her setup, and she says she'll be right back. Okay, yeah. And Netter's still getting her set up as well. So, Troy, anything new with you?
Nope. Nanette and I did actually rewatch Laura this afternoon because she had never seen it, and it had been so long I couldn't remember. She was asking me basic questions about it, and I'm like, I honestly don't remember. So we did rewatch it almost just before before your earlier stream.
Oh, nice, cool. I see Matchstick in the chat saying that he read the summary of the film, and the main character sounds like a simp. I don't know which main character. If you're talking about the detective, Dana Andrews, not at all. Now there's a love story involved, but the man knows how to get what he wants.
Netter should be backstage now.
Okay, let me check in. There's our Netter. Welcome, Net.
Hi there.
Net.
Nanette is the face in the misty light.
I hear
and he's echoing, so check your sound, please.
Hold on.
Mute your YouTube, I think. It's probably
there we go.
Yeah, no problem. What did you think of the film? Troy said you guys just watched it. Initial thoughts?
It's funny because, I mean, without giving away any spoilers, I was leaning towards one person being the person, the thing. And then later on, like after watching a little bit more, I'm like, no, it's probably this person. And I kept going back and forth between the two because it's like, oh, it seems more like this person, but this one's too obvious to have done the thing. So, but yeah, I liked it. Although I did not like Laura. I thought she was this prissy little person who
really?
Like real self-entitled. I mean, especially the way she starts off in the movie. It's like, self-entitled much?
What? Oh, interesting. That's a new take on Laura. I hadn't heard that one before. Interesting. Okay. All right. That'll work. Yeah. So I love the layers of storytelling too, just setting this up for people before we started. Oh, and by the way, I don't know what version you're watching it from, a DVD, a file, or an Amazon or whatever. I've just got it started at it's 0 for me, and it's the black screen right before the black and white 20th Century Fox logo. Yeah. So that's where we're queued up to if you want to watch along with us, and it's available in all the usual places. You can rent it for a few bucks right now if you just want to jump in with us. So, but yeah, what was I going to say? The layers of narration. It's about one story. but you go off on these little side tracks occasionally, and you get wrapped up in those, and then you don't even realize, oh yeah, the main story, and it really is. I think it's a good study in how to wrap people up in a narrative. I think that's one good thing to look at it, for storytelling. And go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, speaking of multiple narratives, did you know in the original version it was going to have different narrators? They dropped that premise.
I did not know that. Interesting.
They did. Different characters. Laura was going to be the last one speaking, in fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think that was the way it was in the novel too. It's been a long time since I looked at that, but yeah, it was a little different in that respect. But yeah, this is one that I usually pull out my notes from first studying film noir and look over them. I neglected to do that for this film, but I've got plenty to say about it nonetheless. But can we all just give a hand to Mr. Vincent Price for playing a 100% completely different character in this, and yet pulling it off?
I didn't even recognize him at first. I'm like, he looks so young. I'm used to seeing him look kind of craggy,
Exactly.
No pencil mustache.
Yeah. Then toward a point out, it's like, he also doesn't have a mustache. I'm like, you're right.
Yep. And he's not creepy at all. I mean, he's his own kind of thing, and what he's is this kind of Southern dandy, in this movie, but he's not there's no horror-esque about him in any small way, which is impressive. So showing his range. So I'll give Sound Engraver another minute or two to take care of any issues she might be having there sound-wise. Hopefully that'll work out okay. Just seeing if I got any messages or anything.
Describing Vincent Price in this film, would the term milquetoast be appropriate for him?
Vincent Price, I guess milquetoast. Yeah, I guess it depends on your definition of milquetoast. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of not really strong, manly in this one. Yeah. Like, okay, whatever you like, dear, type of attitude. Even when confronted by the police officer, he was still kind of for lack of a better phrasing, kind of wimpy about it. Mm-hmm. So it was just. Yeah, he didn't come across as manly man like he usually does in his films.
He's that Southern dandy. He's the absolutely.
Mm-hmm. He even has that accent, in fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you back with us there, Sound Engraver?
Well, I don't know. Am I?
Yes, you are. Much better.
Okay. That's good.
You sounded so afraid.
Are you guys in the movie right now?
Nope, we're just about to start. So
we were waiting for you.
Oh, yes. Thanks. Yeah, I actually had to restart my computer and reset different configurations.
A lot of that going around, it seems.
Yeah, I had to do that twice.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm really feeling like there's a lag on our network over here. I might have to reboot our internet.
You're roboting a lot.
So it is me. Okay. So you know what? Why don't we go ahead and start the movie? And then I'm probably going to drop out as I reboot the router. And we'll need you to let us back in later. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Do you want to wait around while we do the countdown? So
let's start the countdown so we're synced up on the movie. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. Sound Engraver, I didn't know if you heard us while you were gone, but I'm just at the 0 mark, right before the black and white 20th Century Fox logo. So I'm just at a black screen just before that happens in. So
perfect. Yeah.
Anywhere around that second, and if anybody out there is in the chat. So all right. Well, let's go ahead and get this started. I will do the countdown as usual. 3, 2, 1, play. I want to say the word play. That's when we'll start. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay, and I are going to drop out, so
okay.
I need you to let us back in a little bit.
I will be monitoring the green room for you.
Thanks so much.
All right. That 20th Century Fox logo just looks so much better in black and white.
Yeah,
that is true.
And I love this theme. It's just that's so melodramatic,
Yeah, Clifton Webb. It was his first film in a long time. He hadn't been on screen in a long time.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He
said there was a thing like he was kind of shocked when he saw himself because it had been so long.
Mm-hmm. He's amazing in this movie.
To get a date. Yeah, I think he was nominated for an award or
Guy Pearce, makeup artist there. And the great Otto Preminger.
Okay, I guess you don't actually have to invite us back in. I guess we just jump right back in.
You sound much better.
Yes, thank you so much.
Optimus Prime had your mic for a second there. Uh-oh, we spoke too soon. So lots of art. Art plays a big part in the film. Obviously in Lydecker's home here.
You have got to
Okay,
have
I'm
the
not
right
hearing
kind of
anybody now.
home. You've got to have the right kind of house to have a clock like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would fit in my trailer.
You also need to not have a house that Alyssa lives in.
Yeah, Prof, I'm just hearing you now as like a robot, unless it's still us.
You sound
Did I-
good
do
in
I
it.
s- Am I sounding like a robot to you guys?
Not to
No,
me.
you sound all right.
Okay. Must be their signal, sadly. Looks like they're going to
Look at that
reboot.
look at that one mask, man. That thing is freaky looking.
Yeah, that's key because he's looking at those masks and he kind of smirks at them. And one thing you're going to notice is, as a detective, Dana Andrews' character here is not the usual type. He's more detail-oriented, fact-oriented. In fact, he doesn't read faces. He's not interested in, at least at first anyway. So you'll see he's a very different kind of method. And
I
we
like
have
how
the
that he
Bichellis back.
he doesn't. Oh, go ahead.
He doesn't
I
have
need
what?
to set up like that. I need a tub with a little desk and my computer set there.
Full view.
Bubbles, have bubbles to hide anything just in case somebody walks in.
So I'm sorry. Did I miss? Did Sound Engraver make any comments about the music coming in?
Not
No,
yet.
I confess I did not do my homework. I didn't even look up the composer this time. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sound Engraver, you didn't do your homework?
I did not do my homework.
the music was composed by a David Raxon, and it was actually the soundtrack was even better received than the movie itself.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Hedy Lamarr was actually sent the script to play Laura, and she turned it down. And when asked about it later, she said they sent me the script. They didn't send me the score.
Oh, nice.
But I love the main theme, Laura, that we just heard as we came in. That's what I was singing earlier.
Yeah.
Can I give you a fun fact about Hedy Lamarr?
Please. I love Hedy.
She is one of the predecessors of Wi-Fi technology. She and a composer worked on frequency hopping to, I think, distort a torpedo signal for French enemies or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, she was a brilliant woman.
She was instrumental to the Allied forces during World War II. Brilliant as she was, beautiful.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you were talking about people turning down the role. Rosalind Russell turned down the role as well,
Did she?
thinking it too small.
Oh. Well, from a current point of view, you start out the movie dead. So,
Well, yeah, that's interesting, right? Your main character is dead as you open up, and it's just a very different kind of story, even a very different kind of film, a very different kind of noir film. I see Age of Boomer saying he's not crazy about this detective. I understand that he's very different. I think he's great. I'm enamored with him. Just the idea of this whole story, like I said, the layers of narration, and he
is more of the intellectual as opposed to the like slap you around kind of guy.
yeah.
Yeah, he's the thinker as opposed to he doesn't use his fists.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love this little game that the detective is playing, that
I
little
used to
baseball
love
game.
those as a kid.
Yeah.
I used to love those as a kid. So this, I actually, wow, Matt Burton, welcome, super friend.
Yes. Well,
Thank you so much.
welcome, Matt Burton. Great to see you. Thank you, buddy.
This, I alluded to the fact that we start out this movie with Laura, the eponymous character, dead. Apparently, this is the mystery that's set up, and she's dead at the beginning, and we're trying to solve her mystery. Obviously, the parallel is to Laura Palmer, for those of you that joined me for my rewatch of the pilot episode of Twin Peaks. And that was absolutely this movie was absolutely David Lynch and Mark Frost's what do you call it? Inspiration. Thank you for Laura Palmer and that particular mystery.
Now, this is a rewatch.
The little flower.
Yep, the little flower. This is a rewatch, so we'll still avoid major spoilers, but when you've watched it before, like we have, and you watch it again, it's interesting. It's interesting. You see, but you're a detective as you're watching the film too, so you're watching people's reactions to Laura murder. Like you find out, you meet her maid. We're about to meet her aunt here, her possibly betrothed. With Vincent Price's character, Lydecker there too. It seems to be just like romanticizing the whole thing, like, oh, she was this great chapter in my life and so forth. So it's interesting to kind of categorize all these things, and as you play detective on your own.
The great Judith Anderson, if anybody remembers, from Star Trek 4 or 3, Star Trek 3 and 4, I forget, but she played Talar, I believe, the Vulcan priestess.
No way. Really?
Yep. That's her.
What's also interesting about this movie is it seems to take place over the course of a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and it wasn't until the end of the movie, I'm like, wait a minute. It started on a Friday, ended on a Monday. Yeah, that was a whole weekend. I mean, just a weekend.
Yeah, you got your unity of time, but you do have a flashback.
True.
But yeah, unity of time.
That is Talar. Sorry.
Yep, it's Talara. Yep. She was also in 10 Commandments as Mendit.
Was somebody else going to say something before the Star Trek talk?
I was going to say something
We're talking about the actress.
Yeah.
I wanted to comment, and this is at the beginning of the scene where he's handling that art piece, and when he's told to put it down, I love that the sound design is you can hear almost a clatter of the piece. He doesn't set it down gently. Mm-hmm. He's quite forward with his mannerisms, even regarding expensive pieces of art.
I tend to overlook those kinds of details, but they're so crucial. And it makes me wonder if there was a boom mic picking that up or if that was done after the fact. Usually a lot of times sound engineers would reproduce those sounds in post-production.
Now, one thing I noticed about the detective, while he was questioning the aunt, he was just looking at his notebook. He didn't look at her at all. He just kept flipping pages, making statements.
Mm-hmm. He's about the facts.
But he didn't look at her at all to gauge a reaction or anything like that, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
If he's anything like me playing L.A. Noire, I can't get these damn things to work. Can't ask the question because I can't click.
But you think about what we know about the detective archetype. So he's got his eccentricity. He's got that baseball game. And he's from a lower class, right? They call him, he calls women skirts and dames and, this and that. Yeah. And he doesn't understand or appreciate the art. Like, Santa Griffin pointed out, we're going to see that too when he's in Laura's apartment and stuff like that, just tossing things around. So think about how they would schmooze him. They would schmooze him with social behavior and speaking and their honey tongues and, trying to get him off of this track and that track. And he's the street smart detective coming in and just looking at the facts that aren't going to be twisted or schmoozed over. And I kind of like that.
God, so young, Vincent Price there. Yeah.
I do like their banter back and forth, Lydecker and him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Waldo.
I know every now and then there's a little bit of edge to his voice, and you know where he's going to go with that in his career.
Yeah.
Nanette pointed out earlier, oh my gosh, even in black and white, you can see that guy in the middle there's wearing a wool suit.
Yeah.
How hot that must be. And all I can say is back then, yeah, you wore warm clothes and you suffered with it and you just got used to it.
Well, it's like Vincent Price even had just finished saying how hot his hotel room was And then you see the older fellow in the wool suit. I'm like,
Yeah.
he must be just blistering hot.
Yeah.
Good humor ice cream.
Yep.
Matchstick is asking for the timestamp. I just put it in the thing, but we're at 11:18, 11:19, 11:20.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yep.
Are you watching this on Blu-ray?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm watching on my Amazon Prime
Oh, okay.
account. Yeah. They it tends to work better for the PS3 setup I've got here in my office.
Oh, fair enough.
Now, think of it too. He's taking suspects into the scene of a crime, just willy nilly, just no biggie. This is even his first time there. He's read about it, but this is his first time there, and how again, it just shows the reliance he has on the facts that there's nothing they can do to pull the wool over his eyes.
Well, additionally, there's another benefit there. He can watch. Well, if this is his focus, he can watch for reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing is like, deducing what happened. He's like, well, I thought you'd never been here before. It's like, I read the account.
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to visualize in his head the account when actually he did that.
Mm-hmm.
When he came into the apartment.
Which is such a lost skill. And Professor, that's probably something you might want to talk about in another topic, about this ability to, from prose, from reading, from somebody else's secondhand description, being able to paint a picture in your mind.
Yeah.
It's a skill that I think we've lost in this modern movie age.
Oh, yeah. That's the art of reading.
Right. Well, if you want to put it in simple terms like that for everyone to understand, yeah.
Doll in Washington Heights got a fox fur out of me once. That's all he can give him.
And the older gentleman is taking exception to the fact that detective is calling all women dames or dolls.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But again, it seems to be more, he says, did you know for women, it's more about women in general. Like, stop using that word more so than it is stop calling Laura that,
What he's basically saying is, you better stop being a misogynist or we're going to cancel you.
Well, it's interesting because Lydecker looks up to McPherson, not looks up to him, but he finds him an interesting character because previous victory over the gangsters,
right,
and whatnot that he's talked about. He's a wounded detective. He's got the detective with the metal shin, I think, or iron shin or whatever, because all the lead or whatever in his leg.
I think you said silver shin, wasn't it?
Maybe, I forget what it was, but
so Mr. Matchstick makes an interesting point. Everyone is simping for Laura, and you're getting the impression she's the good girl. That makes me think that she's the femme fatale. So, first, Mr. Matchstick, have you not seen this movie before? This is your first time through? And secondly, just to speak to that, I got to be honest with you. When I first saw this movie, even having forgotten all the details, I just remember kind of vicariously falling in love with Laura. The same thing that drew me to the show Twin Peaks. You see her through everyone else's eyes who is so enamored with her. And then as you go on, you learn more and more things about her. But yeah, the goal is to make you kind of fall in love with her the way they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the entrance when you finally see her. But right there, we were talking about it, but I just wanted to touch to that. This guy McPherson didn't even bother stopping or watching Shelby look in that nightstand. He said, yeah, the police are fussy about their list. That wasn't in there a second ago. He again doesn't even worry about watching him because he knows what's going on. Sorry, I'll just want to point that out.
That's somehow lackadaisical. He was just laying on the bed.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that they're actually not playing that music. The violin part was he's a violinist, but that's a pre-recording over that acting.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
And
Sound engraver. I do
Sound engraver exposing the film.
I do the exact same thing when I see someone playing a trombone. I look and I go, yeah, he's not playing that right now.
Right. He could be a trombonist, but he's not.
Yeah.
You're not hearing what he's playing.
Right.
Totally random thing. I love the candle on that table. How's all melted down. I love that.
There we go.
So our first time seeing her.
Right.
Yes.
This part I was talking about where it's like entitled much, the way she just push this forward while talking to him.
That's it. See, I kind of see it like a woman just trying to make a break for a career or whatever. But it's interesting. I mean, you can definitely look at it like that too.
Well, it's like after he says, "You're interrupting my lunch," and then she's just like I don't care. You're you're gonna listen to what I have to say. It's like, excuse you,
I totally agree with that. But in fairness, you got to be that assertive. You got to push those boundaries if you're going to get anywhere in this world.
I like his line, and I wish I had the closed caption on this, but he says something along the lines of, you're just because you are feminine doesn't give you license to do something like this.
You suffer under the typical feminine delusion that you don't have to follow the rules or something like that.
Exactly.
To which you can, of course, respond, I don't care who you are. You make your own rules.
Right
if you're being assertive.
Right. And right there, when he said that, she should have just said, I'm sorry, and walked away. Instead, she still pushes the thing in front of him. It's like, lady, I'm trying to eat.
I thought that was just like probably both. But she's like,
hey, she loses nothing to continue to push. If she walks away now, she gets nowhere. At least she has a chance if she keeps pushing.
She's a strong and she's a strong woman.
She's a strong,
We've never had strong women in films before.
I was just a bystander, just taking it all in.
Mr. Matchstick. Oh, you're awesome. It's interesting because I can't stand Laura. I was more of an Audrey Horne fan. That is awesome. Thank you. Both are wonderful in real life.
Age of Boomer for $5. Thank you very much, sir. Says, if a woman from an ad agency interrupts a meal I'm enjoying, it won't be a mystery as to who her murderer is.
Well, okay.
Well, this is a harsh line. You're disregarding something more important than your career. My lunch.
And they're right here. She acts as if he's the one that's being wronged. Or he's the one that's wrong.
I just love how much Nanette hates Laura.
I know.
Yeah.
She's under her skin.
Nothing right.
And it's so hard to argue that because she's not wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see what you're saying.
From that point of view, she's absolutely right.
It's like in your column, you come across so sentimental and genuine and gentle, but you're really a jerkin person. It's like, you're interrupting my lunch, lady. Like,
sentiment comes easily at 50 cents a word.
Yeah. That is a great line.
And now that I've met you, I understand why you would be sitting here in a restaurant eating all alone.
Just what a woman wants to hear. You're beginning to bore me.
I'm a little nervous about it, asking Nanette to come join us for the Christmas Carol. I think Scrooge is right.
Oh, no, I can't stand Scrooge.
Okay.
Yeah, he's even more despicable in Klingon.
I like the way he carries his walking stick like a club. Little, touch to his personality.
I like that partition was a total set piece that we saw as a viewer.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love is everyone's reaction once he announces himself.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he uses that cane to tap him.
It's like dead silence. Everyone turns to look at him.
And later on, he threatens that kid, too. You really get the impression that he's not above getting physical. Although, man, if it ever got to being physical, I think just about any guy in here could take him out.
Mr. Metric said, I'm with Annette. Laura is rubbing me the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of his insecurities. He keeps talking about Laura. He keeps going for the athletic man, and stuff where he's the intellectual. That kid.
Yeah.
He's just like staring at him, getting closer and closer. Like, are you real?
Now, again, another situation where the kid's obviously in the wrong, and it wouldn't be appropriate for him to stand up to him because, I was invading your space.
Look at all the girls in the back, just like kind of almost to the point of giggling.
They're like, oh, she's going to get married. This is her big, they got that look on their face.
I love that sweater.
I like that line. Let's not be psychiatric.
And she's been kind of condescending to him. You really are sorry, aren't you?
So you don't like her then, Nanette?
Oh, no, not at all. She reminds me of too many people that I used to work with.
Yeah.
And they just totally rubbed me the wrong way. And her attitude, at least here, is really rubbing me the wrong way. It's like, no, sorry, you're not all that in a bag of chips.
I have apparently not been exposed to the world enough.
Lucky you.
Well, I'm guessing you've never worked in corporate America, sounding like
I have,
Oh, okay.
but maybe in different ways.
She never came across somebody like that, I guess. I'm not bothered by Laura either. I mean, everything Nanette says, she's not wrong. It's all there, but it just doesn't strike me in that manner. So it's interesting to get some other perspectives.
Matter of perception, you know.
Exactly. I think it's because we're the way the filmmaking is going is we're actually seeing her through the other people's enamored perspective.
Now,
Yeah.
is her hair real?
Her hair is real. But
Yeah.
the style for her it's way too old a style for her. It makes her look like she's 20 years older than she actually is.
Well, she has to be that older to match the guy she's with.
Yeah, well, she's got a point there.
Actually,
Now,
Her hair looks great.
do you guys get a little bit of a Vertigo vibe? Remaking her the
Oh,
way he wants her.
absolutely.
Later on, he says that you were the best part of me, and do you really get that sense that he wants her for who he can project upon her? So it's that Jungian anima again.
So Sound Engraver, when they were dancing, she had her hair with a braid going across the crown of her head. That may have been a hairpiece, but not necessarily, since she definitely has the hair to do that.
That's
So I can't-
wonderful, Troy. I thought you were going to ask me a question about the music.
No, I'm not going to bother now because you didn't do your homework.
Apparently, you guys did.
Ouch, Troy.
Honey, be nice.
I was nice, so she got not nice.
I like how Nanette's saying "be nice" and she's like trashing.
And what I thought Sound Engraver was going to say earlier was when she said we're seeing her through the point of view of these other people. I thought she was going to say it could be the difference of seeing her from the point of view of another woman, as opposed to those of us seeing her from the point of view of a man.
Well, we see that again, just trying to get into the mindsets of these individual characters as we're playing detective, watching it. He's very much enamored with the attention that she gives him, right? And that's so when she didn't show up, he felt betrayed. Well, betrayed, that's a harsh word, you don't even know what, but of course he goes there and finds she's paying attention to another man. He doesn't like that. And I love that line. Jacoby, the artist, he seems particularly enamored with the fact that he's got more of an athletic physique than an artist's mind or something. So again, he's very, and I think that's why we keep seeing him skinny in the bathtub, so he can really juxtapose him as not the young, virile men that he doesn't like her being with.
Right, and I think that goes into his betrayal because she was having dinner with him. Right, it sounded like a couple nights a week, and it was their thing. And then she starts canceling, and it's like, well, why aren't you with me? Who are you with? So he feels betrayed, like this is his girlfriend or something, and even though she's not. And then when he finds out that she's with somebody else, it's like, I'm betrayed. You are cheating on me, and that's how he's coming across.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he wrote a scathing article about the fellow that had gone to see her.
Yeah.
So
Age of Boomers like Lidecker. She's not into you. No woman is.
Yeah.
poor man. I did notice it might not have been intentional, but forgive me. What's the last name of the older gentleman's?
Lidecker.
Lidecker, yeah. Thank you. He has more wind instruments like clarinet and oboe, which actually might work with his character because you think of winds, someone who may be winded or older, more tired.
Oh,
and then with the romance of Shelby and Laura, it's more of kind of that low jazz brass with the mutes as well. And she also has her solo violin as well.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense because he's also, as the writer, is the one from his mind, that wind, the elements, and the wind is the idea person.
Yes.
I never would have thought of that. That's awesome, Sound Engraver.
Oh, thank you.
That outfit she's wearing is almost like making her to be a goddess almost. Yeah.
I like that dress. I feel like Shelby's a guy that I hung out with in high school or college. I don't know why. Just the way he talks.
He's he has to be very charming because, of course, he's used to having money and he doesn't. So he's kind of charming his way into things and whatnot. But it's hard because you see him also a little bit through her perspective. And it's hard to make up your mind. Is he just a rat, or is there something genuine within him too? And you can't. It's hard to go too far one or the other as you're watching the film until a certain point.
Well, and for the purpose of the narrative, you have to obscure that from the audience because otherwise,
Yeah.
you kind of give away the whole mystery, right? If oh, okay, well, it can't be him. Oh, it can't be him. No, it can't be him either. It's got to be him.
I think one of the things that makes this such an interesting film for me, it's not that this has never been done before by any means, but just the elements from this really seem to be heightened in this collaboration, is that you've got a novel by a woman, and women write differently than men. It's not in a bad way at all, but you've got a novel with the intrigue and all that kind of stuff from a woman's perspective, and then directed by a man who's has a very masculine take with Otto Preminger and whatnot. So it's just an interesting result, I think.
That's interesting also about Lightdecker is isn't it described in the film that he has more of that sentimental writing?
Yeah.
He might have more of that emotive feminine writing as well.
That's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Women
okay,
awesome sweaters.
I have to say this. That is
ugly
one
hat.
ugly hat.
I agree with Nanette and Al on that one. I thought it was just me, but it doesn't work.
As soon as she put it on, I'm like, it looks like someone just dropped a bucket of water on her head. It's all floopy and looks wet.
As long as that sweater was in view, I couldn't even see the hat.
I think Troy has something with sweaters. Just from the movies we've seen together.
Yeah, at first I thought he was just being cheeky when he talked about Barbara Stanwyck in that sweater, but now I'm thinking, no, he's just like really into the fabric and stuff.
No. It's not the sweater itself. It's the way they wear them.
Okay.
Who's in it, how they're wearing it, yeah.
Now here we go. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Aged Boomer, you know what I'm talking about if you liked Audrey Horne, right? You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Man, Agent Boomer is just not about this film at all. Worst detective, Laura is not all that.
Man, we got some mopey people tonight.
I know, we got some antagonistic.
I think some people are just trying to get on the Netter bandwagon there.
Okay, Laura does improve. It's just those first scenes she really put me off.
She improves a lot. She gets dead. No.
But actually, what's most important is Nanette and I agree on fashion.
Yes.
No, yeah.
And I would say hair, but I know nothing about hair. So.
What do you think of that top she's wearing, Nanette?
I'm sorry, but I think it's hideous.
I know.
Yeah, I don't care for it either.
She said it almost gave her a seizure.
It makes her eyes kind of go all wonky.
I said, well, at least it's symmetrical.
At least she doesn't have that darn hat on anymore.
Jeez, darn hat.
But her hair is really pretty in this scene.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to echo what somebody wrote the time we were watching Superman. Al, show us on the doll where the hat hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. As he points right at his eyes.
This is actually the moment I thought she was going to claim her independence.
Mm-hmm.
But we see that's not true.
Mm-hmm. I like the way he's just seated, like he knows she can't walk out. She knows she can't leave him. It's a confidence. It's also a weird with the arms so high up. It's not a very masculine seat. It's almost like the matron of the house or something with the hands hanging down and stuff. But it's him at his seat of power nonetheless.
It's interesting you say that. I took it more as a king on a throne.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely his throne. I just see it as kind of not the most thrones either. It's not Conan's throne.
Now, would you say that she is manipulated or kind of pushed around because of the business transaction too? How he kind of he did upstart her career, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a position of power. He's older and wiser.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things going for him.
And he's been leaving her all this time, so yeah.
You could imagine if she were to leave him, he could use all of his power to ruin her career and stuff.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't consider that.
But I love his the look in his face. Like he's looking ahead, but you could tell that brain is just twisting and thinking all this stuff. He's just got a great look to it.
And even
you just recognize that because you recently saw me in person, Al. That's all. That.
And
what does that mean?
I couldn't take my eyes off those sweaty muscles you had as you were lifting those books.
Oh boy, boy. I'm going to go mute for a little bit, guys.
And it's like when she's making the phone calls, he's like, he's not there, and when she answers, she's going to say that he's not at her place. And then they go there and it's like, oh, she's not home. Yeah, we know. And then he just walks right through her house. It's like, what?
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
When you say something.
No.
Yeah. We can hear you. Can you hear us, Professor?
How about now? Can you guys hear me at all?
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you. If you leave the stream, we can't hear you. Professor, you still there? Okay, now we can't hear you, Professor. Or at least I can't.
I can't hear him either. So
he's got his mute on, it looks like.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Now,
yes.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Can you hear us? That's the important thing.
I'm here, but you can't hear me.
We can hear you. You cannot hear us. I'll type it in the stream.
Yeah, please. I was about to.
We can't hear you.
You can hear me now.
Yes. Every time you've asked, can we hear you? We've been able to hear you.
Arg. Okay, I'm gonna try to fix this. I'll be back in a second.
God, another ugly hat. Ugly hat, man. What is it?
Same ugly. Oh yeah, it's a different sign. But yeah, this is an ugly hat.
In fairness, these hats.
She looks like she's like a longshoreman in the middle of a hurricane.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good way.
It's interesting you say that because what I was just about to say is those two hats that you guys didn't like are function over form. It's hot. It's sunny. She's looking to protect herself. That's what it's really about.
Form follows function. Right?
Well, if you're talking about starships, yes.
I would.
Okay,
I'd attest to that.
Let's see.
By the way, when you guys first saw this, did you sort of forget about the detective? Then and he's in the scene now, but I totally forgot about him.
Yeah, he's very nondescript. He disappears easily.
Right.
Well, your focus isn't really supposed to be on him, so that's kind of fitting.
Yeah, I agree because the past detectives we have seen, every scene has
this is
involved
weird.
him.
I think you guys can hear me, but I can't hear you. It's actually kind of weird. I think it might be a StreamYard thing because none of your halos are lighting up in StreamYard. I switch over to YouTube and I see you guys talking. So I'm going to try and reset my StreamYard. If I click back out again, I'm going to try and fix this. Sorry, guys. We'll be back.
Okay, go ahead.
Black Pony.
What did he say about the scotch? I missed that.
It's called Black Pony.
Nice.
I think
I
it's
don't
a cheaper scotch.
Well, I don't think it was ever established who bought it or for whom.
That I think is revealed at the very end. I think.
Well, at one point, they're talking about it, because even the maid says that she put it in the cabinet, and because it's a cheap scotch that she would never, that Laura would never drink. But it's like, okay, but who brought it and for who? Did they bring it for themselves, or
You guys can hear me now again?
Yes,
I
we
can hear
do.
you.
Can you hear us?
Good.
we can
I
still
kept
hear ya.
unplugging cords and stuff, but apparently it was a StreamYard issue, not a cords issue. So sorry about that. I'm back.
No worries.
You got to do the troubleshooting.
Sorry,
Like
I
a
interrupted
detective.
somebody.
Yep, no problem.
Somebody was talking? No? Okay.
Oh, we're just talking about the liquor and how we don't know, or at least I don't know, who it was supposed to be for.
Yeah, we find
Who
out.
bought
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Mm.
It has to do with the Friday night incident.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's
Right.
inhabiting the place? I do love Bessie, and I love how she's just it's interesting. She feels like the cops are above her, so she immediately has this indignant front. I don't care for cops, blah 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 blah. But he's not the kind to feel above anybody because he's used to feeling below or for everybody else, their class over him and such. So he kind of slowly wins her over. I like the way that works.
I like her hat.
I do too.
My grandmother had that exact outfit. Just saying. Doesn't matter
Okay.
to anybody, but it was an
So why
observation.
hasn't your mom given me her hat?
Not the
knows she's
hat.
Victorian.
Not the hat, the dress.
Oh, okay.
When
Yeah.
when I was having the StreamYard issues, the weird thing was, I think you guys heard me say that none of your halos were lighting up, so it felt
Right.
like it looked to me like none of you were talking. I was like, really? I go mute and everybody just shuts up and watches the movie.
No, we were all talking and you weren't hearing us.
I eventually figured that out. Yeah.
In fact, I even told them I'm typing into the stream right now so that he knows that we can hear him, but he can't hear us.
Yeah, I see Santa Graver and Troy. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
I think she's a good actress. I think her face and the force
Very
of her voice.
expressive. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I know who that actress is, though. I've never seen her before.
Al.
Huh?
Mr. IMDb.
Oh, you want
Did
to
she
know
ever
who
play
Bessie
a
is?
Klingon? Because she definitely has that kind of look to her.
Oh,
And this scene didn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
What's that?
Well, he calls over Wimpy Guy to, to have a conversation. These other people are with him.
Mhm.
And then they all just leave, but nothing actually happens. He doesn't talk to him, Vincent Price at all. I thought the whole premise was to try and get his fingerprints on a glass, but he doesn't drink. So it's kind of like,
Well, he's there.
sorry?
He's showing them the bottle, see? And he's seeing if they recognize it, and he's getting their reactions when he shows it to them. And then Lydecker starts talking about his items and stuff like that. He gets a lot of information. I think he changes the tactic a little on the fly once he realizes the party it is.
Okay.
So it's a
By the
very
way,
subtle
the-
scene.
the actress playing Bessie is Dorothy Adams,
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know that name.
who was also in the Ten Commandments, playing a slave woman at the Golden Calf.
Wow. Interesting.
And I think for the aunt, she's not really wearing a lot of makeup. I think that's to try and make her look younger, but it's not really helping.
Not that it probably really matters to anybody else here, but you notice on their drink cart they have that seltzer bottle.
Mhm.
That was
Yep.
so ubiquitous back in the 40s and 50s, and
Mhm.
you don't see that anymore.
I need to set up a mini bar like that, and I'll just like fill it with chocolate sauce and soda and stuff. But
And
it looks
Dr. Pepper.
classy to have.
We did see that in Notorious and
Yep.
in that dinner scene
Yes.
in
Mhm.
Rio.
And it does just kind of make you want like a slow gin fizz or a gin and tonic or something.
Or a strawberry milkshake from McDonald's.
Even Sound Engraver sighed at that one.
Only if it has real strawberries in it.
That's right.
Well, yeah,
That's right, Nanette.
that's true.
I mean, if it's that imitation stuff, blah.
Same way I feel about strawberry daiquiris. Here.
So they're talking about they're taking exception to him being there all the time, and then Lydecker's wanting to take his belongings, which he says is the vase, the clock, and the antique fire screen. He's very, very careful about repeating that in that order and whatnot.
Now, this scene really goes heavy on the music.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, her theme enters when we behold that portrait. But then once the theme is established and set in motion, we're going to start seeing him ruminate, get frustrated, get fixated. And to show fixation on a topic on screen or the fixation of a person, you can't really be so fixated on just a theme or a motive. I don't think you'd get that connection. You do actually have to muddy it up a bit. You're hearing this kind of dissonant, dark chord of the brass. You've got this kind of ambient suspending strings, and that's he's trying to work through what he's working through. But now we're starting to see why he's frustrated.
That's a great. Sorry, good. I was going to say that's. Go ahead, Nanette. You go.
It's just the casual way he's throwing all the letters and things back on the desktop. It's just like
right.
Things are meaningless.
This is the first time we see him show really any emotion. And Santa Graver stays frustrated, and I love that about the music. I didn't make that connection, but it makes perfect sense. He's been the calm, cool, and collected. The baseball game gives him control and so forth. And he's it's almost like he's trying to shake off something. He's looking for something, there's something that's really eating at him. And if in the case you can't piece it together, we'll find out through the dialogue what it is in a moment. But everything Senator said about the music makes perfect sense, because I just love that we can see in his acting as well what he's doing.
And to get fixated on a theme, you have to stretch it out in time, or you have to introduce it in a different range. So if it's in the middle to high range as its normal form, then get it distorted in a low range at another time.
And you were talking about him showing more emotion. He's alone. No one's around. So when he's with everyone, he's calm, cool, collected. But now that he's by himself, he could kind of drop that facade.
Professor mentioned the cane earlier on. Something I was noticing is the use of cigarettes, not just in this movie, but in many of the movies we've been watching. That physical object that an actor can use, and here, even with his, taking a drink, that having an object that gives you an opportunity to infer things about what they're thinking, what their frame of mind is. I know as an actor, having that ability to emote by having something in your hand to manipulate is invaluable. Now that you can,
makes me think of Lady from Shanghai by Orson Welles. He had a main character that he didn't like his acting very much, so he gave him these two canes and made him have these like leg issues, so he had to walk around with these two canes. Just gave him something to do so he wouldn't look so awkward on screen.
Which is so unique that it makes it that much more a memorable character. That's what I mean. It's a little thing that makes a whole history and story there for the character that wasn't even there to begin with.
So now we get the answer a little bit. He found out that the Detective McPherson there has tried to get a claim on the portrait whenever it goes to auction or whatever. He wants that portrait.
By the way, the actual portrait, the physical object in the movie, appears in a bunch of different movies after this.
Really?
Yes, it does.
I know that. Now, basically, he's accusing McPherson of doing the same thing he did to Laura. He said, "Oh, I see you've imagined her as the wife you always wanted," when he just took Laura and projected the kind of woman that he wanted, with I taught her the styles and what was becoming to her and this and that, So, takes one to know one there.
Exactly what I was thinking. It takes one to know one. He sees it because he knows it. You know. But man, that is a great portrait.
Oh yeah, gorgeous light and everything. And I love the way that camera work. It's like over one shoulder, then it's over another, and he's very much associated with it composition-wise throughout these scenes.
So this is actually quite common too in 20th century music, where you'd have the theme get kind of frantic with a layering of other things before it kind of dispels into a solo instrument.
Okay. Which makes sense because he's alone now, and he's going to fixate on her even more with the drink and stuff. So the solo.
I look at that portrait and I think Elizabeth Taylor. And when I think Elizabeth Taylor, of course, I think Sherilyn Fenn, Audrey Horne.
See, I think it looks so much like Gene Tierney. I imagine it was a portrait of her.
It absolutely was a portrait of her.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay. It was made for this movie.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm just saying that after it remained a prop on the studio lot.
Gotcha.
And they used it in a bunch of other movies.
Makes sense. Like that little smile he gives this portrait before he passes out.
And I'm sitting there going, he had 2 drinks and he passes out.
I think
it's been a long day
to begin with. Yeah, exactly.
There definitely was a passage of time with his drinking.
Oh yeah.
Dun dun dun.
And I love the way they do it with him passing out, because you don't know, is this a dream? What's going on here at first? You don't know what's going on.
That's a great reaction.
Yeah.
He rubs his eyes like what?
How hard was I dreaming?
Okay, I do love that trench coat she's wearing.
Yep.
Not the hat though, right?
Well, actually, that looks like a rain hat. It looks perfect now.
Okay.
Right, because she just came in from the rain.
It's still ugly.
Oh, an ugly hat.
It deserves to get wet.
I love that every now and then it's like I'm watching these movies with the mean girls.
These are the same people that if they were out in the rain, they would wish they had the hat to pull down and keep their hair from getting wet.
OMG. Do you see her hat? Oh, wouldn't be caught dead in that.
Al, did you see his bow tie? It's so short. Actually, it's not short, but he's wearing it short.
I like big hats, and I cannot lie.
I'm out in the rain,
he
I
needs
want
to straighten that darn tie out.
That I noticed that earlier. That was
going to
intentional.
go over my hair, but also block my eyes from getting, or my face from getting soaked too.
Yeah.
His tie is purposely pinned up like that because he was sitting at the desk going through papers. But yeah, you're right. It is aggravating that he hasn't put it back down.
Mr. Matchstick says, I can't stand Lydecker. I kind of like him as a character.
I like Lydecker.
I really do like him. That's why,
That's why.
Yeah.
No spoilers from Sound and Graver.
He's a delightful cad. He's just a rotten jerk, but you can't help but to like him because of that finesse and that class and that confidence. Wolfden Media appreciates my Mean Girls analogy.
I never saw that movie.
And the model happens to look a lot like her.
Yeah.
It's not that great a film, Sound Engraver, but it is a cultural touchstone that might be worth seeing just for that. You know what I mean?
I've only seen enough of it to make the references. That's about all I want to see of it, honestly.
Better movie, Heathers.
We need to do a rewatch of Mean Girls and talk about Laura.
There you go. I love that my joke has legacy now.
You realize that we just do that to make fun of you, Professor.
I thought it was to honor me.
Okay, let's say that.
You just keep thinking that. Yep.
Now, think about
ugly lampshade too.
Now think about him there. He's this is the woman he's been fixating on, and against all of his self-control, because later he says, I need official surroundings. He's really striving and struggling against his feelings here. Realizes she's alive. This is a huge deal. But he also has to realize, wait a minute, I have been falling for a projection of my own mind. For all I know, this woman could be a murderess,
Right.
So he's really got to figure things out before he lets his emotions come back. Now I'm going to have to step away, not for Mike reasons. I'll be back.
Should have said Mike reasons.
I should have.
Yeah.
What a cool.
Just gotta go
window
feed the
treatment.
cat.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good.
I mean, elaborate. You don't see stuff like that anymore.
What's that, Troy?
The window treatment behind them.
Oh yeah. I like the divan that extends from one side of the wall to the next.
Yeah. So I have a buddy who Skipper Kenner, who's oftentimes in the stream. He built a divan just like that at his wife's request in their picture window.
Nice.
But again, you don't see that in modern homes very often.
Oh, I wish that kind of thing would be back in style.
Well, that's the awesome thing, though. I mean, you can always, when you buy a home or build a home, you can certainly do exactly what his wife Kim did and say, "Hey, honey, I want this. Make it for me."
Hey, honey, I want that. Make it for me.
Well, we don't really have a picture window to put it in, so we'll have to get a house that's got a picture window first. But I'm all for that.
I look at Gene Tierney and I get a Dakota Johnson vibe. I don't know why.
I don't know why either, Al.
I don't know. I keep looking at her. I think of the girl from that film, the 50 Shades films. Not the film, but the actress. So it's kind of, for some reason, I see a similar aura and bone structure.
I love it when he smiles, his ears go up a little bit before he leaves there.
I can wiggle my ears. I don't know if anybody else. A little
Yeah.
weird fact.
I can't do anything like that. I'm not talented.
You are talented.
It's
Let's
it's
just
more
leave it at that.
flexibility than it is talent.
What's that?
Oh, I'm
Wiggle
sorry,
ears.
Al. I actually can wiggle my ears too, but the way you do it is pull your scalp back.
Oh, yeah, I do that.
I can wiggle my ears. I can wiggle my nose.
Boy, I see the intellectual level of this conversation plummeted in my absence.
I can cross one eye at a time. I can make the Vulcan salute with my toes.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, honey.
I like he makes his partner get out in the rain and follow her. I'll just drive the car.
I actually was surprised that he followed him and not
Mhm.
her, but that means he's more on his job, more at his line of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that was part of what made me think how he's really trying to solve the mystery before he lets his emotions come back in.
Yeah. See, I would have gotten out of the car to follow her because, well, in L.A. Noire, I can't drive a car.
I like that little cabin too. Nice.
Mhm.
I like the way he's got the jacket draped over his shoulders. I think that's just,
Yeah, it's kind of British.
yeah.
Now, what is he looking for? Is he just
I think he's making sure no one's there before he
That's what I
touches the
thought.
gun.
Yeah. Okay. And that's probably my favorite entrance I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah. Leaning at the
Exactly.
threshold like that. Because now he's back. No more frustrated emotion. Now he's back to detective work. Calm, cool.
Mhm.
You pull the trigger, pointed at the other guy.
Matchstick ran out of popcorn. I understand. I had to go get a bite of chocolate. That was really why I left. I needed a little bit of sugar. But I thought I was pretty good at eating quietly on mic. But the last time we were all together, I was trying to do it very quietly while everybody else was talking. And I said, yeah, you guys didn't even know I've been ghost chewing for the last 5 minutes. And then sound engraver said, no, you haven't. So yes, go get your popcorn and enjoy it, Mr. Matchstick.
I really do like this dialogue as he's telling his story. I was kind of wrapped up in his story as he's retelling it.
That's another layer of the narration, like I was saying. Yeah, because you get wrapped into Lydecker's story with her, and now you don't even have visuals. You're not even transported away to a flashback. You're just getting the dialogue, like you said, and you do get wrapped up in it again. Part of that, I think, is Vincent Price's delivery as well. Is just being such a great actor.
He's got a very interesting voice, and the way he speaks, and kind of he runs his words together, but not in a clumsy way.
It's neat too to see McPherson's escalation. Remember how he was first dealing with Shelby, just kind of letting him dig his own holes, like, oh, okay, yeah, you were asleep. I wouldn't worry about that. Hey, that key wasn't there. Why'd you put it there? Just very kind of easy. Now he's a little more invested in what's going on, so he's up more in his face and playing hard cop or bad cop a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Computer Robots, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you earlier this stream or not, too. I get kind of wrapped up in the movie, but welcome for popping in.
Mr. Matchstick wants to eat, or Computer Robots wants to eat Mr. Matchstick's popcorn. That's between you and Mr. Matchstick, Computer Robots.
Seen Annette, like she's the kind of person that friends come to all kinds of night and day. She's good. She helps people.
Yeah.
So it's just that one scene. She just rubbed me the wrong way.
Computer Robots said something that I was thinking during the first time through with Nanette. It says, I feel bad for Gene because this is her mostly and only known role that people know her for. Yeah, I was having a hard time placing her from any other film.
Mm-hmm. I've seen her in some other stuff, but right now that it's topic at hand, I can't think of another one.
The Ghost of Mrs. Muir. That's
it. That's the one. Yep.
Wolf 10 Media, I was ghost chewing. I didn't want Sound Engraver to give me grief.
She also appeared again with Vincent Price in a film called Dragonwick.
I haven't seen that one. That's interesting.
Never even heard of that one.
This somewhere close to this Christmas, one I'd like to do is Bell Book and Candle. Great screwball comic. Jimmy Stewart, Kim Novak, Jack Lemmon, Elsa Lanchester. Great.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's been
love that framing.
I've seen it though.
Yes.
It's also a great little magic shop in Goodwich.
Yes, the Bell Book and Candle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Al knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I mean,
that's just
thinking.
Yeah. And it's layers upon layers, not only a narration that you get caught up in the movie, like, so-and-so's story and so-and-so's story, but in terms of a mystery, it is, here's the part where I say layers and somebody says onions, but it's so layered.
It's when you say onions.
Yeah. Because you have to peel back what they say until you get to the bottom at the end, and then you finally understand.
Professor.
It's layers, like a lasagna.
There
Professor,
you go.
What else has layers?
Yes.
Parfait. I never heard anybody say they don't be like no parfait.
I can do a parfait. I'm not anti-parfait. I don't dream of parfait or anything, but
So I had a question. When he turned on the radio, because this is what I missed when Laura said that the radio is broken,
mm-hmm.
was he momentarily upset because that could have been a lie?
Yeah.
A fabrication?
Yeah. Yeah, she said it was broken and it works, so he can't believe her story.
And that's why when Vincent Price was like, yeah, the radio works. Is that a problem? And it's kind of like, yeah, I was hoping it would be broken.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time.
But still, playing it close to his chest and keeping the possibilities there.
I'm surprised you didn't point out the focus on the clock as they were changing scenes there or changing
Oh, yeah.
locations.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the clock or the portrait are the two pivot points in her apartment when you're in that room anyway.
What I thought was interesting is in the beginning narration when he was talking, when Lidecker was talking about the detective being in his house, it said he's focusing on my clock. It's like, no, he was just checking his time because then he looked at his own watch to make sure it was still on point. He wasn't focused on the clock.
Yeah.
Poor Bessie.
That's got to be freaky, though, when you think about it from her point of view, right? I mean, I'd have messed myself, too.
And I just love that the first thing she does is, how about you cook for me now? You haven't even caught your breath yet, but how about some bacon and eggs?
But think through why she's doing it, though. Would a
Give her
ghost
something
be
to
asking
do
for
and,
food,
Yeah.
It's also give her something to do, get over her shock.
Right,
And
right.
something that's familiar.
Well, I guess I'll take off my hat and get to work.
I do really like, again, Clifton Webb. I haven't really seen, I can't think of any of his films I've seen, at least just right off the top of my head. But his performance is, the guy who plays Lidecker is really something, especially here when he enters and everything. And I'd like to know if he plays just that same type of character over and over, or if he's done a lot of a range. Doesn't even think to give her a match.
Well, smoking's bad for you,
He was in The Razor's Edge, and
This was the 40s. Cigarettes had vitamins.
Tobacco was good for you in the 40s.
Titanic. He was in Titanic.
Oh, really?
The 1953 version, yes. Oh, he
I feel like
played.
that was a joke that didn't land.
He played in a series of films, as Mr. Belvedere.
Really interesting.
Mr. Belvedere rings the bell. Mr. Belvedere goes to college.
Okay, one other sound design coming up. He drags his hand on the divan, and that was definitely picked up. You wouldn't be probably able to pick that up normally, and I love it.
Here we go. And you just hear. I love that you hear the collapse. You don't see it, because it sounds so heavy and clamorous
and painful.
Mm-hmm.
I need my nitroglycerin pills because I'm going to have a heart attack.
He can barely talk. Yeah, I mean, you just really get the.
But knowing what I know about this movie, it's like, I mean, he's an old man. He's probably got a bad heart anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the shock was a lot for him.
He posted the radio version of Laura on the Facebook group. Thank you for doing that, AJ Boomer. I'll check that out. It is interesting. I'll sometimes when I listen to radio classics on Sirius XM, and there are certain shows that they would do that. They would call even some of the actors from the film that they could get in, and they come to a radio transcripted version on the radio. And it's interesting hearing the changes they have to make in the story, or the Foley art, and stuff like that they have to do just to translate it to the different medium. It's fun.
Did you see a while back I had posted in the group the Philip Marlowe radio dramas that Alexa plays?
That's so nice.
Oh.
That who played?
Alexa's talking to me because I mentioned her name.
That's so nice.
Shut up, Alexa.
Well, stop calling her name.
And I'll try my best to help.
I want you to shut up. That's what I want. I'm going to have to treat her like a child and start spelling her name.
You can really see, especially once you've seen it already, going back and watching it again, you can really see McPherson thinking on his feet. Like he tries this tact, but then he kind of shifts gears. He said right there, he just changed his mind and so forth.
And that's what's really awesome about that is you get into the mind of the actor. The actor knows things that the audience doesn't and is communicating it early on.
Yeah.
Projecting it,
What'd you say her name was, Al?
Judith Anderson.
Judith Anderson. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, she's like one of the most honest people in the movie. Because she says it a little bit to Laura. She's like, he's no good, but he's what I want. I don't deserve any better, and it's what I want.
Now her hat I dig. Maybe that's just me.
And then she's like, oh, but Laura needs me, so bye. Laura needs me. Sorry. But, dude.
Isn't it kind of weird that there's this like cocktail party and he's about to, solving this mystery, but there's this big cocktail party. Well, obviously they're celebrating her quote unquote return from death. But again, it's just such a film noir of manners. You think a comedy of manners like Jane Austen would write or something like that. It's that kind of high class socialite scene, but the film noir crashes into it. So that's another thing that I like about it. So now
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by
I knew I should have talked. I knew he was going to go after the pause.
You were silent. And I was like, I'm doing the second part of it.
She comes back from the dead and lights up a cigarette. Don't you know those things will kill you?
Now listen to the aunt there. He's capable, but he didn't do it. She says, I'm capable too, but I didn't do it. She's just going to laying everything out.
And here's Anna trying to push her into the detective's arms. I only met him last night. Yeah, that's more than enough time. It's like, what?
He's no good, but he's what I want. I'm not a nice person, but neither is he. He knows I knows just what he is, and he knows that I don't care. I love that dialogue.
You got to respect honesty.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously she would have a motive because he was dallying with that model as well. They must cigarettes must be so incredibly cheap. As many times as they light one up, take a puff, and then snuff it out.
Yeah,
actually, if you think about it, back then they were.
Yeah.
That was before they started taxing them into oblivion.
Mm.
I made that same comment. I'm like, okay, the way they smoke a cigarette is puff, say two words, puff, say two words, puff. It's like, who smokes like that?
Back then, yeah, that's exactly how it was.
Well, I'm a non-smoker, so okay.
So really killing the party there. He's about to make the arrest, he says.
But I like how everyone is just quiet and just staring at him like, oh, wait, something's going on here. And then he just goes and looks at people.
Because again, you get the idea that he's thinking on his feet. It's especially once you rewatched it, he's not really, Poor Bessie. So loyal. Shelby doesn't seem too concerned back there. He's more relieved. So Lydecker kind of letting on what power he does have when it comes to law here, but you can imagine to careers and whatnot as well.
I just love McPherson's just ever so slight smile.
That's right. Yeah, once you watched it and once you know the moments where he's learning these little things, you see that little corner of his mouth twitch.
Right.
I love this. I love this.
Oh. Gut punch.
Like it wasn't even just a almost like a tap from McPherson because it was so easy. And then when he kisses her on her hand, it's like, okay, yeah, you're the one that's gonna take care of me.
She cares. She really cares.
Because the other one's in jail.
And there's the confession lights.
Mm-hmm. But if you notice those confession lights, they're lighting her face the exact same way her face is lit in the portrait.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting juxtaposition.
Also, the same kind of lighting you would want if you were on camera for a live stream on YouTube. Just saying.
Yeah.
There are 2 lights in the
Still a better portrayal of Picard than the recent series.
I like what he says here too. This is where he says how he so now he's confronting her about the radio. Any of the last final reservations he's had about her, he's putting through. So the radio was one, and now there's Shelby. Because apparently they were back together that next morning. So now once he figures that out, you'll see that smile again. But I love that he says, sorry about bringing you here. I needed official surroundings. That her apartment was the womb of his budding infatuation with her and whatnot. And he needed to have it by the book because he's a man who does the things by the facts and stuff like that. So if he's really going to clear her and believe it and then still have feelings for her, it needs to be at the station.
Oh, we see he has feelings for her in the station.
But he has enough clarity of thought to know that he needs to the best of his ability, keep it professional and think clearly.
Magic called it.
Milk toast.
Yeah, and it also shows her her heart for people in general. She's like, even though she's not really in love with him, she still wants the best for him. He's the kind of fierce person that everybody has suspicions about, but he's trying to do the right thing. She sees the best in people, even when they're a lie. That 1% doubt.
Mr. Matchstick, I didn't want to say anything. He was like, I think I called it too early. But
and the way she says it, was this some sort of game? It's like, no, this was me eliminating you as a suspect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this Mr. Matchstick just gave us the perfect example of why, the detective has to be as clear thinking as possible. Now, Mr. Matchstick had the opposite point of view. He wanted her to be guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But still.
He's been conditioned by Netter's network.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only had an issue with her at the beginning when she was all acting self-entitled.
Nanette wasn't saying she was guilty. She was just saying she didn't like her.
Oh, I never thought she was guilty. She's not one of the ones I was leaning towards.
Well, you don't know. She could have been guilty of something. We could find something to pin on her.
Now he's back in Lydecker's house now. You could imagine he could get in trouble for being there. He doesn't, you
But he
know.
has a key, so would he really?
Well, I don't think he's got permission to be there. And I didn't see
Right.
him go through like any warrant or anything like that. Like I remember the first time I was watching this, I was a little nervous for him at this point. But I kept expecting Lydecker to come around the corner and like really nail him to the wall for being there.
Oh, I expected him to. I was cringing for a different reason, and it's coming up.
Mm-hmm. The hollow clock, and Lydecker's already said through his narration that that's we see it obviously, but that is the replica, the only two
And
copies
here's
of that clock.
cringe.
Yeah.
You can't fix that, dude. How are you gonna hide that?
Not only that, but that was the original. You got to replace that now, and it's never going to be the original.
He isn't capable of a normal, warm human relationship. And again, that's Lydecker talking about himself,
He has like this cold as ice kind of.
Mm-hmm. His voice is so great too. When you hear him reading on the radio and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I'd buy books of poetry with him reading it.
I want to point out one thing. We were talking about the reference to dames earlier, and he just said he refers to women as dames with such scorn. And yet, look at how they really treat her, each of those characters. I don't care what you call her. Deeds speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's just the avenue for their projections, as I keep saying. And again, talking about himself, basically.
Love that line.
The doorbell. I hope. And you can see in her reactions to him too, her budding affections.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, I did want to point out the difference again between them. Yes, they both project onto her, but McPherson at least has the self-awareness to be aware of that.
Well, yeah, and he's not projecting anymore. He
Right.
had projected, yeah. I like her line there too. Seeing through him.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's fascinating here because his reaction, you get the idea of especially when he walks out of the room, you see his face, and it's like a jilted lover. But then he's going to talk, and we'll see what's going on with him. And it's really telling about his character. So he's going to be on the radio discussing great lovers of history.
Didn't, Professor, at one point you made, way back when in a rewatch, you made some comment about men wearing pinky rings. I was going to point out that he's wearing a pinky ring.
Did I?
I think you said something about it seemingly an effeminate affectation.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. She says that's the most difficult thing I had to do in my whole life. You can juxtapose what she just said to him there with her approaching him at the beginning, taking that chance, but now she's finally cutting free.
Now, here's what's interesting. For hers, he takes the time to figure out how to open it.
Right.
For guys, he just smashes it.
I think this is the first noir film that we've seen where the detective picks up a piece of evidence with a cloth so as not to ruin any.
Well,
Fingerprints,
he's a
yeah.
police detective, not a hardboiled that doesn't care. So
Good point. Good point.
Wolfton Media says, "Someone pull Al's string. He ain't talking."
Well, I really don't have,
It's interpretive breathing.
You don't know the power.
you don't know the power of Lineker.
Now, this is the danger because he's putting it all together here,
Mm-hmm.
and telling it that it's Lidecker's the one who's done it. And yet the movie's still got a ways to go.
Right.
So it's interesting construction of the plot here for tension later.
I love the lighting, and that's on Lineker right there.
Yeah. I love how his shadow's so much bigger than he is.
Yeah.
And
It's
to the exaggerated point,
it's showing
it's almost
the
like
dark
the Looney
side.
Tunes.
It's
Yeah,
the dark
exactly.
side finally
Exactly.
showing.
Yeah.
Waldo, Shelby. Wow, what a bunch of names.
What is McPherson's first name again? Mark McPherson. Yeah.
What I never got is why is he putting it back? Why not take it with you or with him to, the police station, have it dusted for prints? Instead, he's going to wait and have someone pick up the whole clock.
Well, he wants to go straight and pick up Waldo right now. He's going straight to arrest him. So he doesn't want to stop by the police office at the moment. Of course, we know that's not going to work out. So close. I love this kiss. It's like, are they? Will they? Won't they? Will they? Yeah, boom.
It's like, she's known him 24 hours.
Sometimes things are just meant to be, that.
Checking on her, making sure it's nice and locked. But we've already established Bessie's got her own entrance, so that's the kicker.
That's a nice. It's not really a final rendition of the theme, but she's really associated with the strings,
Mm-hmm.
and we think it's gonna be all right. And then this real swift pan to the door.
Yeah.
It's so fast.
It's so fast and purposeful that it's almost like it was him watching her, even though it's not. He's clearly behind the door there, but it's ominous. It makes you feel like somebody else is in the room, which of course they are. That's one thing I like about Otto Preminger in a lot of his movies is he's not like that pan around McPherson's shoulders earlier when we saw the portrait of Laura go from one shoulder to the other. He's not Mr. Experimental all through the time with the camera, but he does pull things like that with the camera now and then that just hits you like, whoa, that's cool, but he doesn't overdo it.
I think that's only done once.
Mhm.
That pan effect in this film.
And that ticking.
No, she heard the noise, but instead of going to look, she goes and turns on the radio. It's like, who does that?
Well, I think she is under the impression that he's supposed to be on the radio, because I think that's where even Mark was going.
Oh, right.
And it's not until the end where it says this was a transcribed performance of, which means recorded in old radio talk.
But still, I'd want to know what the noise was.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just me. I have no problem checking out noises in the house.
I totally interpreted that scene differently. I thought she turned on the radio so he could hear his voice and maybe leave out of guilt or something.
Oh, interesting.
But that apparently wasn't.
Yeah, I think it was to check to make sure he actually was on the radio, but She still didn't check out the noise.
Yeah.
Did you see his face there? He
Yeah,
looks and he sees the shells are missing.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's brought,
So he know this is.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So he's brought his own shells to
Mhm.
refill it, but he knows that it's been found.
Well, his plan too, as he says here, is to kill her and then kill himself. So it's like this is the poetic ending of their time, as he knows.
She's got bad peripheral vision.
I
Just
gotta
really
say,
focused on her.
hard to miss. It would be hard to miss standing there.
Right.
She focused on that very real hair of hers.
Who also puts a lot of pins in their hair before they go to bed?
So right here, you're the best part of me. You think I would let that be pawed by some second-rate detective, So it's like it's not about her. It's about the elements of him that he poured into her. That's just kind of ego thing. It's really twisted. And you hear these gunshots, at times you don't even know who's been shot or whatever. So you just saw him clearly fire off a shot. So again, tension. Again, you don't know. Did he get somebody? Did he get one of them? That portrait behind her again.
I love that she comes to him at the end. She goes out of frame, but she still cares for him.
With
Even
the
Yeah.
though
Blew away that
Goodbye.
ugly clock. Yes, the clock dies.
But then you got that feeble last words of his. Goodbye, Laura. It's like, really?
Well, the clock was the link between the two, and
And
Yeah.
buy bonds.
I just realized the clock was one was a duplicate of or they were the same style of. So they can take the door off the one and have one still in intact clock. Okay, I feel better now. There could be a
my gosh.
restoration there. Am I missing the point?
I'm glad it works out for you, Troy. I'm glad you're able to enjoy it like that.
From
So
the
there you
point
go.
of
See,
view of the
happy ending. There
collector,
you go.
Yeah,
The clock is
way to look
saved.
at it. It's
But,
like, we're collectors, so
Honestly, though, I think Soundagraver made the point that Lydecker is likable, and all of us were kind of agreeing with that. I think it's kind of tragic that we feel about him in the end the way Laura would feel about him, because Laura's trying to see the good in everybody, trying to see the good in Shelby, despite his, running around with the model and so forth and everything, and pointing out again that she does run to him even as he's shot in the end there, and he points out how despicable, truly despicable he was, when he gives his whole spiel at the end there, but yeah, it's almost it puts you in her perspective just as much as we were put in others' perspectives about her. So it's an interesting turn of events there at the end.
I always get a little sad when a likable guy turns out to be nasty in the end.
Mhm.
Aw.
I can bring towards Lydecker and the aunt, and it's like the aunt said she didn't do it, but would a killer really say that they did it? So I kept going back and forth between the two, and then I leaned really far towards Lydecker at one point. I was like, "Yep, he did it."
Yeah. So it's not that's what it's one of my favorite noirs because it defies. It's not people have called it classic noir, and I know exactly what they mean by that because some of the noir elements are so well done in it, but it's not textbook noir necessarily either because of some of the different elements. I love things that kind of defy definitions like that, and I think that's the thing about film noir too is film scholars will argue, and it's not really a consensus yet on is it a genre, a style, or a movement. That seems like you're splitting hairs, but really, if you think of it as a genre, a style, or a movement, that means different things. It means was it confined to a time then, or are we seeing resurgences, or is it a genre that's grown and developed since then? Is it a style that's just like tools that people can use just as they can use others and such? So it's interesting kind of exploration as we've been going through these.
So, Professor, what you're saying is what you like about this movie is that as a noir film, it subverts expectations.
As a noir film, not a Star Wars movie. Yes, indeed, Troy. Thank you.
Well, because the follow-up to that joke was going to be, there is nothing wrong with subverting expectations. It is a good thing when done correctly.
And I think the moment of subverting expectations was Lydecker's fainting, because his reaction was a sincere reaction. He wasn't
Right.
it, but it was sincere in a way we didn't know, because we didn't. There was a knowledge gap for us as the viewer.
Yeah.
And it's
I started saying that earlier and then realized what I was saying and kind of veered off to something else.
That's true.
That was it. His reaction was genuine, because it's like, wait, I thought I killed her. And it's like, but we didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he's an old guy with a heart condition. Yeah, okay.
and what's important is that this comes after you see the reaction of what's her name?
Bessie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You've already seen someone have this strong reaction to seeing someone they thought was dead being alive, so you can kind of go, okay, yeah, I kind of understand that.
Yeah.
But don't get too wrapped up in that.
Yeah. That's another thing I like about movies like this, where they're mysteries and they're layered in ways that it is fun to go back and watch it a second time once you know. But Al made a comment once, which I 100% agree with him on. I know, be shocked. But he said he was talking about Sixth Sense, and he said it's a movie that you would really enjoy watching the first time, and then once you get it, you want to go back and watch it again to kind of see how all those pieces left together. But then that's all you ever want to see it, because it was just a gotcha, and you go back and see how it gotcha, and then after that, unless you're watching it with somebody else to get them. But this movie, even though it has all these layers, and the mystery, but then you're going to see how it comes. There's so many things interwoven and so many levels to still go into and investigate, and that's what makes good art, not just a gotcha story.
And think about this.
It was so brilliantly done that you had no clue what was going on until the very end.
Yeah.
What makes what you just said that much more brilliant is that
yes.
this was in an era before people really were probably going to have that opportunity to watch a movie over and over again. Nowadays, there's an expectation that you could, for the price of a movie ticket, buy a DVD of that film and have it on your shelf and watch it as many times as you want.
Yeah.
Back then, you went to the theater and you saw it once. If you spent money on it again, that was a huge deal.
Indeed. Well, before we go through talking about everything that's coming up, anything else you guys, closing thoughts on the film or things you guys wanted to say before we do start the wrap-up process?
Well, like I said, I didn't like her at the game, but she got better.
Okay.
And boy, with this crowd, people are just, if they hate your hat, they hate you. My God.
Worst hat movie ever.
I guess. Holy crap, guys.
I'd like to clarify on my word likable, because Mr. Matchstick brings it up with Lydecker. I say he's a likable character because he made me laugh because of his witty dialogue. It's not his personality or his demeanor or his mannerisms. They're actually quite atrocious as a human being. But I liked seeing him on screen. I liked his wit and his dialogue.
I mean, kudos to Clifton Webb. It was a great performance.
Well, that's the thing. When somebody makes you laugh, when they engage you socially on a certain level, you want to think the best of them, which makes it all the more key how McPherson isn't even bothering looking them in the eye at first, because he's not going to be pulled in by any of that nonsense. It's just the facts, So it's cool. All right. Well, this is Tuesday, so nothing is going on tomorrow that I know of, at least among our little circle here. But YouTube's got many things happening, unless any one of us decides to do a impromptu live stream or whatnot. Thursday, come back for Star Wars Scoundrels, chapters 13 through 16. Did I do that right?
Very good.
Okay. It was yeah, okay. So 13 through 16. I was gonna try and take some sort of credit, but I thought, don't even try. It was that's it. Really, in the heist is stepping up. We're really stepping into gear, and it's a good little chunk of
Finally got
chapters.
some action. Yes.
Al's a short story guy, and he's like, "When are they going to get to the main heist?" I'm like, "It's a build up, Al. It's a build up."
Well, there was a lot of like talking, like roaming and looking, and now there was finally blowing stuff up in this part.
They blew stuff up, and I was entertained.
I was going, yes, take that building down.
Well, hold on. I haven't read anything yet, so you better not say anything.
Spoiler.
I'm
Well,
gonna be.
I guess now Sound Engraver knows there's explosions coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the auto mechanic tomorrow, so I'll just bring my book and chill.
There you go.
Reading.
So that's Thursday. Maybe another Second Cup Cafe Thursday. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what the
I still
StreamYard
haven't listened to the last 3.
don't know what the StreamYard limit is doing, but yeah, they're all there. If you miss one, they're on the channel.
I know. I have to go check them out.
I believe this Thursday is going to be very paranormal, weird, newsy, heavy.
Gotcha.
According to Fanman this morning.
And then something from him Friday night, of course. And then the movie that none of us can remember the name of on Saturday night from Troy's channel.
Well, actually,
The accident. And
Not
it might
the
be on
accident.
mine.
it's
Oh,
probably
Netter's
going to
Network.
be on Netter's Network, just because
Very cool.
get her some content. But and it's her movie too. I mean, I actually hadn't seen this movie until she introduced me to it. I think she was just going through a Vincent D'Onofrio phase, but
Hey, I like Vincent D'Onofrio.
I have nothing against Vincent D'Onofrio.
The Whole Wide World, my favorite Vincent D'Onofrio movie ever.
Well, but let's not forget Marissa Tomei is in this film too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
The Whole Wide World is him playing a young Robert E. Howard, creator of Conan the Barbarian. Renee Zellweger is in it as well. It's really quite good from a writer's perspective, talking about art and writing. And anyway, that's another topic. But yeah, so that's Saturday night, 10 p.m.
Right. Yes.
No,
9 our time.
yeah, 9
Nine, yeah.
Central, 10
Yeah.
Eastern.
10 Eastern. Okay. Sunday night. No, we watched this Sunday because we just had one last Sunday. So stick around next Sunday for that. But Monday night. I don't think anything's going on Monday night. Is anything going on?
Oh, gee.
Nothing, absolutely nothing is going on Monday night.
Sound Engraver channel. Sound Engraver is doing her coffee break live stream Monday night. Do you have a topic in mind for this one? I know you were going to go a little lighter again, maybe, or something.
It'll be light like last night, but I haven't decided what to do.
Okay, cool. And then next Tuesday, that brings us to next Tuesday. So originally on the calendar was to do Out of the Past, but I'm really wanting to cycle in some. Part of me is wanting to cycle in the screwball comedy so we don't just blow through all of the film noir and then we don't have any good ones to go back to. I kind of like keeping just classics in general. And if people aren't really interested in screwball comedy, just I want to do screwball comedy, darn it.
Yeah,
He's blowing the calendar up again.
That's okay.
God.
No, I'm joking around because I have it up right now, and it's so easy for me to just switch things.
So it was going to be Out of the Past this week, next week, and then bringing up BB the next week. But how would you guys rather do Out of the Past and get it out of the way, or would you guys rather do Bringing Up Baby and actually, start injecting a little bit of variety? It really doesn't matter to me. Ultimately, they're all great films. But what would you guys like? And then the chat can chime in as well as you guys are talking.
I don't think I've ever seen Bringing Up Baby, so I wouldn't mind that one.
So good, so funny.
Bringing up baby.
I'm one of those people that I go one genre, like a block, and then I start another thing, but that's just me. So like, for instance, if Out of the Past is the last one we'll do, then we do screwball comedy. I'm like, well, let's just get it knocked.
But
That's the other option, because if we did do one more film noir with Out of the Past, that would be a nice close to this genre, and we still have other ones we can come back to. So we could do that. We could do one more film noir before we move on to Bringing Up Baby, which means Troy wouldn't have to touch the calendar.
yeah, I would, because then I'd be moving it from. Well, are you saying that you would add another one after Out of the Past, or you want to keep
After Out of the Past, we would just add Bringing Up Baby.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Then I wouldn't be changing it. You're right.
Of course, there's also I think Bringing Up Baby, I just keep talking about it and obsessing over it, so that's probably the first one we watch. But Thin Man is another one I want to do because it's a screwball comedy, but it's by Dashiell Hammett, who wrote The Maltese Falcon. So it's an interesting kind of bridge.
Oh, interesting.
So
I like The Thin Man.
Thin Man's good. Myrna Loy and Oh shoot, I can't. I'm
That's
blanking
an
on his
even
name.
older film, isn't it? It's like 1930 something.
30s, yeah.
William Powell.
William Powell, yeah, Dick Powell. No, yeah,
Dick Powell.
No.
I thought it was William Powell.
William Powell. That's right. Dick Powell was the one in the Marlowe. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Mhm.
Got it. So cool. All right, we'll do that
Yeah.
then.
Wow.
Myrna
Looks
Loy
like the
and
chat-
William Powell.
Looks like the chat is where's Harpo Prof? That's comedy. No, that's slapstick. A lot of people misunderstand me. That's slapstick is the Marx Brothers and stuff like that. Screwball is really witty dialogue. It's usually a romance, going on. In fact, that's kind of one of the staples of it. And it's just high energy, really zaniness. Howard Hawks is the guy who did Bringing Up Baby, and he's the one, of course, who did The Big Sleep. He's kind of a master of screwball comedies. Billy Wilder, another one. We'll definitely have to watch Some Like It Hot at some point with Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis, and Marilyn Monroe. That was a classic. So, yeah.
I have never seen that.
So do you want to?
Ow! Wow, we have to fix that.
Mhm.
Well, isn't that the whole point of these? I mean,
Exactly.
an impetus to do these films. So do we want to do Thin Man on the 4th?
You're throwing a lot of numbers at me, Troy.
Okay, so do we want to do the Thin Man the week after Bringing Up Baby?
Yeah, we'll do that. Archie.
Okay,
We'll put it-
I'll make that happen for you.
and if I don't want to, I'll change it and make you change it. It's all good. So,
Well, I'm
all right.
even asking if I should just put it tentatively on the calendar so
No,
that
go
I
ahead.
can get it.
go ahead
up
and put
there
it so I don't
then
forget about it anyway.
Give you something to change.
Yeah. It's all good. All good.
The Thin. Is it just the Thin Man?
Just the Thin Man.
Man.
Yeah.
There's several of
They
Rick
did,
and Nora Charles.
They did a series later and they added, or changed the names around when they did extra ones. So, yeah, Nick and Nora. He's the detective and she's his wife, and they get into a lot of hijinks together. It's fun. So,
I think
all right.
that's what Heart to Heart was based on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. All right. Well, we did that. We got it all ironed out there. So thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight and doing the rewatch. Thanks for sticking around for the writing lesson we did first, the sentence structure thing. That was cool. I will cut that off. I know I said I was going to do that on the last live stream, but I've decided just to leave that as a live stream because it's been getting so much attention and traffic just as a live stream. But the beginning of this one, I will cut and make it its own little video so it can be more concise because there's a lot of info in it. So you shouldn't have to pick through a whole big, huge sloth of a file just to get the titles and terms and whatnot it was giving. So I'll cut that and make it its own thing. And then just have the rewatch start. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out in the panel here. Any last words from you before I sign us off?
Thank you for joining.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. Until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the stories you love best.
Bye.